Mr. Agrawal, good morning. Welcome to the show. What's your sense? Will you whistle in the dark or shoot in the dark?
I don't know. I mean, this year's budget is very unique in the sense that the backdrop which has been created, like Brexit happened 4 5 months back, Trump thing has happened. So these are things which are going to redefine for sure. I mean, the trend, and then the immediate elections which are there. So I think all of these things will, and then we had the big demonetization, which is we are still recovering from that. So I would definitely like to see what is it, how exactly this finance minister has straddled through, and yet the aspirations of the people at the upper end from the business and corporate side, and on the other side, how do you balance the needs and pulls of bottom of the pyramid? Because right now the world is being run by bottom of the pyramid. It's a it's a new trend, a new political compulsion or whatever you can say, that's ruling. So I'm sure it will all reflect in the budget making right now.
Ramdev, what could make markets happy? Three things that the markets will focus on, which will
Yeah.
please the market and not derail this amazing pre-budget rally that we've seen.
So two, three things. One is that on expected lines, what is the timetable for corporate tax cut? I mean, and it's a something which has been mandated by him.
So the
So it
glide
is not.
path is given that it will go to 25. Do you think markets would be happy if we get a sense that from FY18 the tax rate could be cut by at least 2%? Is that
Yeah, so it's
2%
a
important?
definite timetable. So what happens is market starts. See, market is one wonderful machine which can discount the entire future. Forget about 2 3 years. 2 3 years is nothing. So in my spreadsheet, next year's profit of all the companies will change the moment you say that it is instead of 30%, it's 27.5, and year after that it will be 25. So that can make a huge difference. Second is dividend distribution. We have talked about it so many times. It's a triple taxation. I mean, I have no suggestions for them to do what they want to do because it's a very sensitive subject, and it is believed that rich must pay more. So I respect. I mean, people must pay more taxes beyond doubt, but it distorts the capital allocation in the corporate world. So are they going to look at it, if at all? I mean, I don't expect anything, but but that can make, as you ask, what will really excite the market. So one is dividend distribution, which is going to be very long-term impact. I mean, not only the corporates, but actually the shareholders. They will be very excited. In any case, they are very excited to invest in the market. But this can actually give a booster. Second is that corporate taxes. And then third, which is there's so much discussion about, is the long-term capital gains tax. I think if they don't do anything, that will be the best because this so many changes. I think the best budget is there is no provisions at all.
You know,
On
the best
tax
budget is
side.
that don't change anything, do no harm, just remain
And
status
implement
quo.
well.
Okay,
There are
so
so many
my next question, Ramdev, is
Yeah.
that all of us are working with the assumption that the corporate recovery will happen. The corporate recovery is getting delayed, and now it appears that on the investment side, it could get delayed by another 2-3 quarters. What can this budget do to ensure that external pressures are minimized because IT and pharma will not be firing food cylinders? Demonetization will have impact on consumption. The only thing you can control is now government expenditure and the revival of investment cycle or earnings which has not been taken up.
But then, see, government has limited role to play on that count in the sense that for doing anything in the economy, you need, see, two things. One is the money, so that comes from the taxes. Tax to GDP is very stuck. Your economy itself is slowing down, or it is at 6.5 7%. So the amount of money in the hand of the government is very limited. Now, the best thing government can do is the power of the sovereign. Making the business life easier, the ease of doing business, which has been extremely well. This government has taken up right from beginning to ease the business doing environment, and the entrepreneurs are a wonderful community. They will create the jobs. They will create the economic miracle. No country is built with a complete strife between a business and the government. So you have to bring somehow the trust between the business and the government and work together.
So let's talk about what you could do for various sectors. There is talk that there is going to be introduction of a scrappage policy for vehicles over 10 years old. That could be a big boost for the likes of a Bosch or for that matter Ashok Leyland as well. Are these themes that investors should look at right now?
Obviously, I mean, what are the specific industry-specific provisions they come, which has been represented by the respective associations, that of course will come in bits and pieces. But the big thing is, strategically, how do you see the real smartness of a finance minister or government is to straddle the deficiency of the resources and go for the big one.
Fair point.
So like big issues are like say PSU banks. How do you resolve it? I mean, see,
How do you think he would?
I don't know. I mean, we are here in next 1 hour. You'll come to know. So that's a big subject because your banking system has to be healthy.
You like all HFCs?
And fundamentally, the industry is fantastic in the sense that you will make money where the tailwind is.
So you think tailwind is there for HFCs?
Yeah, wherever that like IT is headwinded. They had 20 years tailwind. Now it is headwinded. And regulatory headwind. Now I'm not saying anything, but HFCs have the regulatory wise and the demand wise from every aspect of it. Rate cost is lower. Your demand is very, very, very long term demand. There is a very healthy competition, very healthy regulator. So I think it's a very unique opportunity.
If I look at the texture of the banking numbers which have come out so far, they don't inspire too much of confidence. I mean, the corporate banks have the private corporate banks are suffering. Axis Bank, ICICI Bank. What we thought the reverse would happen, which is retail banks would slow down, good private sector corporate banks would start improving their book quality. That is not happening. I'm sorry, I mean, Axis Bank has not come out with very inspirational set of numbers. ICICI Bank also has not printed a very rosy commentary. NPAs are north of 4%. So what's going on with some of these so-called A-grade private banks?
So any bank which had a very large corporate exposure, particularly large corporate exposures across the industries, that's coming to kind of where it could be. So the phenomena with which PSU banks were suffering very clearly. I mean, they not only exposed to that particular segment, they got exposed very badly to that segment. So even if you are very judicious and you underwrote with a lot of caution, because of the exposure to that particular segment, you are suffering from that particular phenomenon. So I think it is going to, that's what I said. I mean, one of the biggest reforms you should be looking at is what the FM does for the entire banking system, more particularly for recapitalization or revival of PSU banks, because that is backbone of the economy. We definitely need this. We somehow, I mean, in the budget, outside the budget, but in next 6-8 months, if we can do some kind of resolution, like oil companies. And good thing is that it doesn't require subsidy. It doesn't require any budgetary support. It only requires government's will and what you said, what government can do. This is where government can do. Without money, you can solve a problem. In fact, you can create, out of this crisis, you can create a huge opportunity.
I'm not going to get into stock specific comment, but what amazes me about the Indian airline sector is the sector is growing. The sector is growing at 20%, which means rule of 72. It doubles in about 2.5 years. Everything is going in favor of airline sector, but where are the numbers?
Stunning. I mean, 42% volume growth, 15% yield decline.
Is there something which we don't understand about the way Indian aviation is working now?
I think that the first year profits of 15% net margin, that's the culprit. And I think the industry is trying to set it much lower to maybe single digit, 8-9%, because 15% is not sustainable. Because a whole lot of competition will come in, unhealthy competition will come in. So I think there is a very deliberate attempt by the management to execute it flawlessly, but bring down the net margin to more like 8-9%.
So I'm going to again ask something which could potentially change the life of the funds and the money you manage. If long-term definition is changed from 1 year to 2 years, it will be applicable to PMS schemes and mutual funds as well. Is that a deterrent for someone who is here for a year, maybe for 1.5 years? And could that increase the cost, change the cost of transaction, cost of capital for mutual funds?
Mutual funds doesn't get impacted because mutual fund is protected from all sides of all sorts of taxation. And I mean, if mutual fund you are holding for more than a year, in that case you are protected from the capital gains on mutual fund units also. So will they change that also?
Will that become true?
Will that true? I don't see. One of the things is that stocks don't know who owns it and what is the tax structure. So stocks are determined. Stock price is determined irrespective of what are the capital gains norms.
Me, we at TT now know that who are the good investors and what stocks they own. So I can assure you on that at least.
Yeah, so So clearly, stock. If you are looking at say price of a Reliance or a HDFC or HDFC Bank, you are not going to ask what is the LTC, what is the long-term capital gains shock. It has nothing to do with that. What is the earnings? What is the earnings growth? What is the discounting? How long these earnings are going to continue? Those are the factors which are important. So of course there can be knee-jerk reaction because is it a are they going to allow it for everybody who bought it earlier, say so-called grandfathering? Whether you are, for the people who bought it till date, will it be 1 year long-term capital gain tax,
Or retrospective in
or
nature,
retrospective or forward? So those are the issues which might determine some amount of selling. But the guys who are buying or selling, they'll again come back to buy. So I don't think net on a month basis that really matters. I don't think as far as the stocks are concerned, this long-term capital gains tax is not going to impact at all. But IRR or return of the investor will definitely change. If you're a little short-termish in character, to that extent your returns will be impacted. So instead of 18% IRR, it will become 16 or 17% for me. So it goes out of the pockets of investor, not from the pockets of the stock price, which is the fear of the market.
Mr. Agrawal, I'll take the liberty of just going slightly outside the budget. And finally, that great consolidation in telecom has started. You understand telecom much more than anyone. Are you sniffing there? क्या लेने का? Consolidation होने वाला है?
Still too early because, what is happening is very healthy. Now instead of 4 players, it has become, I'm just counting Jio as a major player. So, but then Jio has to go to the size and settle down at say 250, 300 million customers. And that journey is going to be very painful for everybody, the entire industry. Because Jio is going to push his way. And still the stabilization in the revenue side. Because right now 80% of the revenue comes from the voice. And voice is going to become zero. I don't know what kind of industry we're talking about. So maybe I don't understand.
It's too early for you as an investor to buy telecom stocks even though consolidation is about to happen. Okay.
I would not buy.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.